Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dream Car Collective. Now today you're probably viewing the auction for our really clean Soarer. So today we're going to make a little feature video on the Soarer for you so that you can understand a little bit more about the features the car has to offer and also see just how clean it really is. Okay, so let's take a tour firstly to show you just how clean the body is on this Soarer. This is the 2.5 GT turbo version, and as you can see as I walk around the car, there's not really any scratches or dents to speak of. It is an extremely straight car with no accident history. The paint is really fresh. It's original too, and I think these BBS gold wheels look absolutely fantastic on the pearl white paint. So let's take a little look inside the car. So she's an automatic, has the beige interior, and let me just open it up. So from here you can really kind of get an idea of just how clean this car is. There's the odd little, sort of scrapes on the interior. For example, you can probably just see below the key ignition barrel, there's a little bit of dirt, a little bit of a scratch there, but on a whole, the most of the interior is really clean. The seats too, if you take a look, very clean seats. Areas that usually would be scratched or, particularly around getting in and out of the car, along the door, all very clean. Steering wheel also. There's no sort of holes, no tears, no snags along that. The dash, very clean, no cracks all the way across. And yeah, I mean, honestly, a car like this, in my opinion, has been somebody's pride and joy. They've taken a lot of care in this car. Now, this particular example does have a sunroof that is completely fully working. And again, looking around the car, you can see along the seals, the rubbers, all extremely clean. When we first got this car, I was very surprised actually, because we see a lot of these, and I've owned them as well in the past, and there are usually cracks on window seals or scrapes on the interior, a lot of wear and tear. But I mean, to be honest, this is one of the cleaner examples. You can really see along there, following the door surround. I mean, I'm not so sure that there are many in this kind of condition left in Japan. And again, look how clean that body is, all the way down the side. You can see a perfect reflection with no ripple. It's just like, honestly, it's going back in time for me. It's almost like I've gone back 20 years and here I am stood beside this pristine example. The wheels have a really good stance to them as well. They're not, there's no spacers or anything like that. It's just a sort of clean look. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fire her up. And I know a lot of you are probably very interested in the electronic dash, which by the way is also perfect. Okay, so now that we're inside, I have the key in the ignition, and I'm just going to go ahead and fire that up so that you can see. So from every different angle, pretty much a perfect dash. There's no damage, there's nothing suspect here at all the lights show up. And let me see if I can very smooth startup. You can see that the owner has added a aftermarket Pioneer stereo system, and to the right you can see a turbo timer. That's an Apexy turbo timer, and the voice that you keep hearing, digital voice, is from that little black box just below the turbo timer. That's for when we get onto the highway. So let's have a look. Inside, and another sort of reason why this car is a really good example is there are the original books, and also we have in here a locking wheel nut, which will be sent separately to the car so that we don't have any mishaps, we don't lose any of that, which is really handy, because when you come to change tires, change the wheels, get to the brakes, you're really going to need that. So yeah, everything inside is extremely original. The back seats also looking pretty good, all the way back to the rear parcel shelf. All the lights work, all the electronics are working as should be. And then down here you've got your shifter. So now that the car is a little warm, you can see that the idling has relaxed a little bit, and she's now sitting just under 1000 RPM. The car will absolutely sit at that perfectly. It's not going to drop below that, it's not going to go higher than that rev range at idle. So it's a very healthy, enjoy good sound. It's a very healthy example. I'm 100% about that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the sunroof. So really, we're just going to slide this back, and we can control the sunroof from these controls next to the light. So we're going to tilt. That's just going to knock it up one stage, and there you go. And to pull it all the way back, there you go. You can of course stop that at any time, or take it all the way back. And there you have it. So the sunroof completely works, and we can close it back up. And we can close the roof up. There we go. All right, so just before we take a look at the engine, I do just want to point out that the struts that hold the bonnet up are working perfectly. Now the reason I'm bringing that up is because some auction cars recently, or some dealer cars, are being sold and the struts are not holding the bonnet anymore. It's kind of an area that can be overlooked or hidden. So this holds itself up completely and it does its job. Looking straight on at the engine, you can see that the plastics around the engine are relatively clean. I haven't wiped them down or anything like that. I just think that this has been a car that's been very, very cared for and taken care of, basically. So as I pull closer in, you can take a look at the head of the engine. That's also very, very clean. Usually these are dirty, they have a bit of oil residue around the cap, things like that. There might even be the odd screw or nut missing across the top of the engine, but this is completely intact, as is the intake side and the manifold side as well. It is pretty clean. Overall, the engine bay itself looks relatively clean from whichever angle. Like I said, there's no crash history on this car. There's no hidden surprises or repaints in the engine bay. There's no rust as well. The car doesn't have any rust. And as I'm sure you've probably seen a couple of pictures listed of the underside, you'll agree it's a pretty clean car. And there we go. That is our Soarer JZZ30, the 2.5 GT Turbo with the automatic box. I think it's a very, very clean car, guys. Happy bidding.